What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Thinking Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Cowan. This is my co-host, Justin Gonzalez, my cousin from
What's
Philly.
up? What's
I'm
up?
I'm here from Charleston, South Carolina. And
And I'm
man,
up.
what you got? What you got?
I'm up here in Philly, man. It's cold. It
Ooh,
snowed a couple days ago, and yeah, black ice. The whole nine. We good.
yo, bro, it's 70 degrees at about midday every day
It's
down
70
here.
degrees there for
Yeah,
real.
man. Like went from it starts in the morning like 45 degrees, and then it gets about 60, 65 plus. I think it was 70 today. Like I have to turn air conditioning on middle of the day.
Mm.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, I would move to South Carolina under these conditions.
Don't,
You were somewhere close.
don't.
I lived very close to a golf course, if not on one, and I didn't have to work more than 20 hours a week.
I think
Like
all
I'm
that's
basically retired, but
I
I'm
think
just choosing to work.
I think all that's feasible in South Carolina. The problem with South Carolina is stuck in South Carolina. Like it's too slow going down here. I think you being from Philly, you would be like, "Yo, dog." Like I ran out like a month ago. I'm like, I know, because it just ain't popping like that. It's not. It's not hitting. It's not hitting on a cultural level that you're used to in Philly. Like you got to discount about I'd say 8 cultures, right? Okay, like in Philly there is a Spanish culture, right? Whatever that is, like Dominican, Spanish, whatever it is, a Latin culture there, right? Okay. There's probably some Asian presence there. Not that necessarily you know about it, but it's probably some there, right? You got a big
And where in Philly?
yeah.
Oh, a huge Asian presence.
Okay.
Huge. Yeah.
There's a Jamaican presence in Philly.
Yes.
Okay, there's a Jamaican presence in Philly. That I know for a fact because of Penn Relays. I ain't never seen that many Jamaicans in PA,
A
but
lot
yet
of Jamaicans,
they were there.
Puerto Ricans. A lot of Puerto Ricans are here.
Latin
Philly, we
community.
call them Philly Ricans.
When you come down to the southeast, dog, it is black and white. There is another culture here, but it's ignored. Like there's a Spanish culture here, but it's ignored. I'm sure it's there, but like for instance, the black and the white people don't fool with it. So therefore, it's only black and white. Like we don't talk about and brown and red people or yellow people. You know, it's only black and white here. That's the only two cultures is. When you go anywhere else out of the southeast, it's so many other cultures. Now there's
Mm.
some places in the United States that clearly are pure white, probably pure black. Like, and I think of like they call DC Chocolate City. So I think of more black people in DC, but DC does have multiple cultures than that. But like, you go to Atlanta, you think of more of a black culture, but there's more cultures than that in Atlanta. Um, you know,
What would
you
you say your most diverse city is in South Carolina? Is it Greenville?
yeah, I was gonna say Greenville.
Greenville was popping, man. I had fun that night. Like that was a good time.
Yeah, Greenville is probably the most diverse. It's probably the most I'm also familiar with too. So like for instance, I can't discount Columbia, but I know Columbia is real black because it's right next to Orangeburg. Um, Orangeburg is real black. Charleston is real black. And therefore, if it's real black, there's also real white, right? So like it's always the two. It's teeter totter. But like when you go to Greenville, there's starting to be a Spanish push. Like you can actually go to a Spanish club. You can go now food wise, you can catch different things. Like it's a bunch of Hispanic food around here. It's probably a bunch of Asian food around here, but like as far as like it being like a presence, like like they're all out there. Like it's just not here. In my personal opinion, it's still just very too black and white.
So that's a great point. So for me, like just for me personally, I get the general typical black person. I get that. But for me, who's done all that, running around, clubbing, I'm okay with black and white. I'm okay. It makes it less confusing.
I feel you on a social presence kind of, but like but there's more than social to when you move somewhere right place, right? There's a professional presence, there's a financial presence, there's a politic presence, there's a relationship presence. Um, like Cat Williams said, you need your Spanish friends, you need your white friends, you need your black friends, you need everybody. Like I would love to have an Asian friend to run stuff off of. Not that I know like what that's gonna give me back, but like you need you need other people to give you other experiences. So then when those experiences come up in your life, you have a way to acknowledge, combat, or think through those experiences and be like, nah, I wouldn't
Okay.
do it like that. And not that you can't get that from black and white, because but the thing is, like, if you handle things all one way, then it's that way, right? So like, for instance, if you had a bunch of white friends and you handle it the way the white friends tell you, null and void of any other culture, that would be considered right the white way, right? Vice versa, the black way, the Asian way, the Hispanic way, right? Like, just because you're null and void to other people's cultures, experiences, and thought process or feelings about things. Like, prime example, like if you were to find, like, okay, I don't know if you might have seen these videos to where people are celebrating Cinco de Mayo, right? And so this guy dresses up in a sombrero, he dresses up in a poncho, and he puts on a big mustache. And he talks to all these white people. He goes, yo, I'm celebrating Cinco de Mayo. He's like, what do you think of my outfit? And they go, oh, it's very demeaning, degrading. You're being racist, da 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 da. And he's speaking to all white people. Then he goes speaks to Spanish people, and they said, "Oh yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, you look nice. Like I like that you're representing our culture." But see, white people don't know that you're not representing their culture because they're not in their culture, because they don't fool with them. But you go to the Spanish side, they don't care that you dressed up like them because they feel like it's honorable and respectful because you're
Mm,
celebrating their culture with them. But you
mm.
don't know that because you're doing it one way. That's what that's and that's my
Are you
example.
saying white people don't have a culture?
White people definitely have a culture. It's called grape drink, no seasoning, still all the spices so nobody else uses them.
I'm dead.
It's called it's called it's called what's the words? What do they call them? The I can't get it out. Anyway, it's all jokes. No,
All right, I'll give you some American white culture. Like what's theirs? The
co-
NFL.
colonization. That's
All
that
right,
that that's
colonization.
white
All right.
culture. That's not white
Mm.
culture. Honestly, white people have a bunch of culture. Like, okay, it's like, and see, that's the thing. I think the thing in America is white culture is white Americans. There's so many other Caucasian people than white Americans. Like, for instance, Canadians, um, like French, English. You
All
have
right, so all right, great
German.
point. You're culture enough to answer this.
Yeah.
What's the difference between an American white person and then like an international white person? There you go.
Oh, okay. So I think
What's the,
an international white
and
person
we'll do
versus
men. Let's do men. Let's do men. Let's split it up. Let's split it up.
I'd say modern. I'd say a modern American would be less in tuned outside of America. I'd say a person
Okay.
that's foreign to America is more in tune with the real here than the fake. So, like for
Uh,
instance, the entertainment, the glitz, the glamour, that's fake, right? That doesn't really mean anything. Like prime example, who won the Super Bowl doesn't really mean anything on the hindsight thing. But like what our stock market's doing, who's running for president, who's running for office, what bills are due, like what's the financial stability of the state, what's the financial stability of the town you live in, like who just got shot up the street, who got robbed down the street. That's more real, and I feel like that is more awareness to people from another culture than it is to us because we're so immune to it from it just happening to us. We just don't.
yeah, we're isolated, and America's also we were brought up at least like America's the best, right? So it
One
almost
hundred
makes you,
percent.
you're right. It makes you feel like why do I need to learn Spanish? Why do I need to go over there? I'm already at the best. You know what I mean?
This is gonna bring me to another topic, but I like where you're going. All right, keep going. Keep going.
No, no, no. But that's how it goes, right? But then when you go to these other places and you notice, like, damn, like Switzerland, for example, everybody there knew like 4 or 5 languages.
Well, one, they don't just speak, I guess, for lack of a better word, Swiss. They speak Swiss German, right? Which means they
Swiss
probably
German,
speak German, which means,
German,
and they're between Italy, so they probably speak Italian.
Italian. They speak French.
And then you know what? If they have a time, they speak a little English too.
Yup.
So like it's just, I mean, I've been there, so I know what you're talking about.
So fluently and all that, and they also have like that. Switzerland was one of them places where I was like, man, like it's almost like surreal. Like
It is
there was
surreal,
no
bro.
crime,
It's,
there was no famine, there was no ghetto.
it was so beautiful. It
It
was
was so
so
beautiful. I'm like, it's
so
so peaceful
beautiful.
here.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
vibing. like I was the bad frequency.
I don't know that you're, honestly, Justin, it's not that you're the bad frequency. You know what it is? It's the fact that you're not exposed to it, right? Like, prime example, okay, and this is what I was going to drag into my next point. So I'm watching, um, I think it's Swedish. Yeah, I think it's Swedish. Love Is Blind, and so they go to this island, right? I mean, it's a beautiful island. I can't even remember the name of it. Anyway, it's like right. Anyway, it's clean. It looks different. You're like, yo, why does like there's no trash on the ground? Why does that road look good? And of course, they're in their cities and they're like the nice parts, right? But like a city still looks good. Like it looks like a new city. It looks like somebody cleans the streets. It looks like somebody throws garbage into a garbage pail, right? It looks lit up at night. And you're like, you look at, you go downtown Charleston, you go to New York, you go to Philly, you go to LA, you go to like our bigger cities, and they're like,
Trash,
yuck, like gross,
nasty,
like just disgusting.
terrible.
It's like the people other places have such a respect for their culture, their identity, that when someone comes there, they're like, oh, okay, y'all respect everybody. It's important here.
And that's why it is so important for like countries that have their own culture, which is what I come back to America, right? Our culture, if you really think about it, right, is revolution, civil war, right?
Nah, this is where I'll challenge you there. So that is our history, right? Which is trying to be eradicated, right? I'm gonna tell you what our future is. Okay, the way that gambling sites are taking over, the way that sports is glorified, the way that there's no sports, no day of the year, it's gonna America's gonna become the entertainment country. Like people are gonna come
Oh,
here to get high, go gamble, visit, play, play with some women, and leave. That's really what it's all entertainment. Like nothing is foundation based. Like for instance, we start off with factory workers and like factory work and building infrastructure and growing agriculture and that type of thing. Like the reason school became a 9 to 5 because you needed workers because we're actually doing stuff like that. That's the best part of it. That's when we were the best. Now we all outsource everything. Like for instance, most
mm,
of the car companies outsource to Mexico or another place. Funny thing is, the German car companies
in
transport
Greenville.
their labor here. Well, you got BMW in Greenville, you got Mercedes and Volvo here, and you've got like Bowen and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, they fly different parts of the. Anyway, all these factories are here, and they outsource it to the country they're going to. Like prime example, the BMW plant in Spartanburg, Duncan area in Greenville, they ship the train with BMWs down. You stand by the yard, they'll drive them out of the truck. They'll go on a boat and they go over to China, and they say that's like the number one retailing car like in China. But like, and
Mm.
it's a different situation, man.
Yeah, so I do respect this, and this is almost like hypocritical, right? So the rest of the world, like their countries, like their people come first. So for instance, if I was like an alien coming to Switzerland to try to find work,
Right.
there has to be like no qualified Swiss before they even look at my resume. You know what I'm saying? They that but in America, right? It's everybody else, I feel like, before Americans. It's like, let's take care of everybody else. These aliens are not supposed to be here, right? Let's get them a job, let's get them situated, right? Let's get them all good. And we're gonna pay for it with these Americans that have been here, these slaves with their tax dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. One
So
hundred percent.
and then we have people protesting, let them in, all this stuff. But you go to the rest of the world, you just can't go to China and just, unless you're brought there on a special visa, you just can't come in here and get a job.
You can't
You
come
just
there and
can't go
buy.
to Korea and go get a job.
You can't buy property. You can't get married. You
You do
can't get.
nothing.
You can't get. Like I mean, not to disclose too much, but clearly my wife is not from here, and yeah, it's taken us, I guess, a little bit over a year to get her situated here to where she could work. But like within that, about 12 to 18 month period, she's able to work here. If she had 20% down, or if she had 100% down, she could buy a house here. She could buy a business here. She could do whatever she wants to based off. She's got the social security card. She's got the work permit, like she's good
Yeah,
to go here, and that's only 18 months.
yeah. Now that wasn't happening over in Europe at all because I attempted,
No.
I attempted, right? I was like,
Yeah,
man, I was there for almost a month. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice.
I was over there for about a month. Yeah, yeah.
Yo, I was like, yo, everybody goes to work at what 9 o'clock. Everybody goes at lunch at the same time. Everybody's off. Everybody's happy. Everybody's paid. I mean, there was, over here, God forbid you have a bottle of Hennessy and a joint or something open, open in public, right?
Right.
They're gonna tackle you. You know what I mean? You're gonna be arrested over there. It was a train full of kids. I mean, I'm talking 15, 18 years old, maybe,
I
and
don't know if
everybody had to drink. And huh?
I don't know if you remember this about Switzerland, but like the biggest thing I noticed when I got to Switzerland is the airport. Right? No
Oh, I didn't
security.
go to the airport. I didn't go to the airport there.
No security at the airport, dog. Like I'm not talking about like no security. Like I'm talking about like you have to take your shoes off, put your stuff through the belt.
No,
You had to put your stuff through the belt, like get X-rayed. But like me, with no pat down, with no metal detector, shoes on, like no hat. I could have my hoodie on, hat on. They didn't care. Nothing. Like, well, come in, come in. You come now. I was like, what is happening here? Like it was a one. I had a wonderful experience in Switzerland. Not gonna front.
yes, which one was fantastic. It might be one of the probably the safest places. It's one of the few places I was at where I was like, I don't feel like a black person. Like I felt like a regular
To be
person.
honest, I didn't feel like a black person even in England.
I didn't feel like
Like
a
I
black
was I was
person.
in Manchester. I didn't feel like a black person in England or Switzerland. Like I felt like a person. I felt like it was so many
I felt like a
cultures.
regular person.
It was so many cultures around. Like because people don't really realize, but it's a large Indian. Like, and I'm talking about like from
Indian
India
presence.
presence in Europe. Yeah, it's a
I
large.
believe that.
Yeah, it's a large Indian presence in Europe. Like and that was I think that was kind of the counterbalance because, like, I mean, we're both fairly light, but like, now you've got a darker skinned Indian than I am, and so then I don't necessarily look black. I look like, what are you? It's like, does it? And no one asks you. Like, that's the thing. No one asks you anything about like race. Like, first thing you do when you meet somebody from here is like you talk funny. Where are you from? You sure your mom's not white? Like, and like before you even get anything out your mouth, like, oh, I knew you were mixed. It's like, bruh, I'm not mixed. I recognize as black, and like I'm not mixed. So like, it's just
That's funny. Because you could come off as like a mixed person, but you're not like 100%.
you
It's
know,
interesting.
the funny thing is like I still need to do like my DNA or
I gotta do
ancestry.com
that
thing
too.
because
I
like
gotta do
I've seen some pictures, boy. My aunt put me on game. I don't know, bruh. I don't know. I gotta figure something out. I gotta figure something out. Yo, man. So we go off on a rant on this one, but you had a interesting point that you wanted to make about some discovery you had at work doing your
Yeah.
marketing research about house buying.
Yeah, so in real estate, I guess the market it kind of came to attention that what most of the women buying right now and for the last I guess 2 decades has been single women. So I didn't know that women they just got their rights to pretty much own real estate, by getting a mortgage through a bank in the 70s. So my question is, why has it become so? Let me reframe. I'm going to say what I said earlier. If you have a child and you're someone that's successful and you obtain a whole bunch of real estate, is it better to pass that on to this child to hope that they can enhance it, or most likely in most situations, what I've seen, they destroy it or they can't keep up with it, or you have all those things and you make them earn it up until a certain point. They got to do X, Y, and Z, and then here's the rest of it. Kind of like Ghost and Tyreek situation, right?
Yeah,
Like he died. Like here's a trust, but you gotta go to college. You gotta do this, and this before you
right.
get this money.
Yeah,
So what's better in your opinion? What do you think? Uh,
I don't. Okay, so like for instance, let's say if you're immediately to die and you had to leave your properties to Summer and Kybin right now, right?
mhm.
Like they're what if 2 and 7. They don't know
Yep.
anything about taxes, nothing about that. That would be irresponsible. So, like in your will or estate or trust, you'd want to appoint a guardian or a legal leadership to take care of it based off
Yeah.
your financial presence until it trickled into, listen, you have this left based off us taking care of it on a legal scale. It is now yours at age 18, 20, 30, and you can take care of it. You can opt to sell it, you can opt to continue with it. This is your mortgage, this is your property taxes. But you need to like have someone who's appointed to show people all their options with something when they're able to actually control it. Do I personally think 18 is that age? Absolutely not. I think about 27 to about 30, 35, depending on your child. And the reason I say that late is because, like, not that they can't live in there, but like technically ownership. Like, I don't think it should come right away because you don't know what you have until you're not making great decisions. Like another thing too is like the amount of equity you're going to lose at selling it because you want a new, I don't know,
Mercedes Benz.
Mercedes Benz at that time versus what it's going to be when you're 30. Calm down, some of your wants and desires is just going to be so much better. To go to your point about why do I think those houses go to shambles? Like prime example, this was grandma's house, and why does grandma's house have the same roof on it that grandma had on it? Because grandma couldn't afford to put a new roof on it. A priority of a roof was not as important as the feeding all the grandkids and then putting the grandkids through college. And then also, grandma doesn't know anything about shingles, doesn't know anything about paint, doesn't know anything about a new fence or where to put a 2x4 in. And the person who did know that is now gone from the family. You said single. We kind of made it more about race. We said single black females buy more houses than single black men. And the reason I said that was because incarceration rate, right? So I think
Mm.
because of the fact that there's more black men in jail than there are anybody else, that's why you don't see as many black men singly buying houses. But where that unit of the family is gone to where maybe the male figure would be like, hey, this needs fixing. We got to put a new roof on this. We got to put some paint on this. We got to fix the fence. We got to do some things to mature the building versus just being a shack. And like, I think the priority of a man owning a house and the priorities of a female owning a house are different without the influence of either one, right? Like, a female will tell you right away, you need to paint this, right? Because it looks terrible in here. A man will say, hey, you need to put a roof on it because it's going to leak and destroy the whole thing. You know, just
Mm.
because they,
Okay.
they look at the roof.
Yeah, that's a fair take.
Yeah.
I guess that's one scenario, right? Now what about the other scenario, right? Your kids are grown, 50s, 60s, 50s and the 60s. Now they're about to inherit this house, right? This is the scenario I see most often. It's not when they're young, it's more like they're either in their mid to late 40s, into their 50s. They're getting this home, never owned anything, don't have any real credit, most likely terrible credit, all these things, right? They acquire this home, then you notice over time when it keeps happening, when the I guess the baby boomers at this point keep dying out, these people are getting these homes and they're unqualified to have a home. And I feel like the big brother in this situation kind of knows, and
Right.
they're just waiting it out. So what they'll do is they'll buy a couple, and they'll buy a couple houses in that neighborhood and just let them go abandoned. Now it just looks like, now it makes that block look like, a real ghetto. Now
Right.
people are going to start leaving. Now crime's setting in. Now they come by everything, right? So is it more systematic, this, or is this just a coincidence? You know what I'm saying? Is it just a
Yeah.
coincidence?
So, who taught you about taxes?
Who taught me about taxes?
Yeah.
I get most of it now from like my CPA.
Okay, so that's an outside source, right? But your mom and dad's not the first who you said, right?
Not about taxes,
I'm the
no.
same way. My mom and dad didn't say anything about taxes first, right?
Right.
Okay, I learned kind of on the fly, little internet studies and different stuff like that, right? So take that same ideology and apply it to a house.
Yeah.
Who taught you about a roof? Who taught you about pavement? Who taught you about cutting the grass? Who taught you about putting a fence up? Who taught you about a lean, a wall, a crack, foundation? If you
Yeah.
don't know, then
You
it's
don't know.
not
You don't know the
culturally
work.
in you to save and prepare for this house is about to fall over. Like, unfortunately, if you don't have a priority of preparing for a problem or saving for a problem, you don't know anything about a problem. Like it's amazing to me like how many people get jacked over plumbing. Like prime example, a lot of plumbing issues are heck of expensive because plumbers can charge so much because people just don't know anything about plumbing. Electricians can charge so much because nobody knows anything about electrician. Like I know electrician, it doesn't matter what happens if you call him out there. If he comes, it's $100 base. He can tell you, I know it's a light bulb, and you be like, yeah, but I don't know anything about light bulbs. He puts the light bulb in, it's $100.
Mm.
Plumber can tell you, listen, that chain just fell off. If you go to the next link, it'll flush again. I don't know nothing about chains and links. It's $100. All I did was move the chain link. It flushes again.
It's a
Like,
good point.
I mean, I'm just saying because you don't know anything about it because you've never had to fix a toilet because you never had to fix a light because you had to put up a fan. Like, I mean, just the minimal things. Like,
So you mean to tell me? So I know it's South Carolina a little bit different, but in Philly, in one block on one side, you could have 50 houses, right? So that's
right,
50 families. You mean to tell me out of 50 families, no one's communicating? And you gotta remember, like these blocks I'm talking about, and of course to the world, I'm talking about just Philadelphia, not a suburban neighborhood. I'm talking
right,
about where it's a lot of these neighborhood like these families they stay together for a long time, so they
right.
know oh so died this that's their that you know now their kids are getting it. That's what I'm saying. Like they're just not taking care of it. And then when it comes time to like a lot of times I'll go into a house, I'll do a whole presentation. We'll get to the end. They don't have their name on the deed, and the mom or dad died like 7 years ago.
Yeah, like
I
so.
run into that all the time.
Like, I mean, we recently went through this with my parents or my mom. So my mom passed, and my mom didn't necessarily have. She had life insurance, whatever, took care of the funeral, all that stuff. But like, her savings, her accounts, all that stuff, due to the fact that she didn't have a will or a plan set up for it to go a direct way, like it was a goose chase
To
to
get
hunt
money.
down. Let's just say, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say $100,000, and then that $100,000 gets cut down to like $70,000 because it wasn't set up for who it was supposed to go when everybody had to put their hands in it before you got it. So you had $100,000 that your family could have had, but now it's less, and then it's less than that, and then it's sitting there. And the funny thing is, as it sits there until you get it, it becomes less and less and less and less. So like, you know,
And then you
like,
got to pay taxes on it.
but here's another thing too. Who taught you about a will? Who taught you about getting your?
I'd have to say real estate on that one.
But I'm saying, but like, look who's supposed to be teaching about this. Like your parents are supposed to teach you about this.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, honestly, I've learned because I lost one first. But like, for instance, I don't have any chaps right now, so it's not a big deal. I mean, at this point, something what's up for me is this laptop and a couple of trucks. But other than that, I mean, like, it's nothing. It's nothing. So, and when I have some kids, or like, I mean, I'm married now, so I probably should put things in my wife's name, and I think I've got some things in place there. I don't know if I've got everything, but you know, it's something to think about.
Good question for you. So, do you believe that, for instance, if you guys were going to buy a house, right? Should both names be on the deed, just one, or just one?
So it's two ways to play that. If you're planning to start a business in houses, like so, for instance, let's say you and Shorty are married and you're getting a house together. Okay. But if you want to do a business house, okay, you would be separate, right? So then your residence would be your house together and you have your business house.
Okay. Yes.
But now if you put it in her name and you trusted her and your second house you bought was only in your name and you could apply it as your permanent residence, in 2 years when you sell the house, you wouldn't have property tax on it. And that's something that people do all the time. They say that that's their primary residence, live somewhere completely different. 2 years, sell the house, don't pay any taxes on it. Do it again another 2 years, do it again another 2 years, do it again another 2 years. Live the exact same place the whole time. So,
Yeah. I guess it's a gray area. It
it's
comes
a,
down to what your
it's,
strategy
it's a
is.
gray area. It's all about who you trust your partner, and it's definitely a big gray area. It's a
Definitely agree
strategy.
there.
It's a strategy to it. Another thing too is you can have a in certain states you can have a half residence. So like for instance, my dad happen has two properties on two different sides of the state. He, excuse me, stays in Greenville most of the time, but like for instance, where I'm at right now, um, he stays here too. So if he stayed here 6 months, he could pay less taxes on it, and he could pay less taxes up there. The taxes in Charleston are way higher than they are in Greenville. So if he got a reduction here, and he took a higher end there, it might balance out to where he's actually paying less taxes overall. And so you kind of gotta
How do they determine where you're at for 6 months?
you apply for it.
And that's it.
Yeah, you gotta apply for it. You gotta say, hey, I'm not here all the time. Like my business takes me down here, so I live here this half of the year. My business takes me up there. I live up here this half of the year. Or I'm retired. I don't stay but here sometimes. I stay here the other time, and then go
Got
from
it.
there. And then while you're Airbnb out, both of them at the same time, you're making a profit off of it. It's tricks to everything. But like, who teaches you that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad's clearly shown me these things, but like, who
Yeah.
teaches you that? Like, and if you
Yeah.
don't, if you don't
I mean,
know,
my mom and stuff, they taught me about like balancing a checkbook and all that kind of stuff, but like that real like down gritty financial advice that came through like people with money and like real estate and just being around money, to be honest, that's where it
yeah,
came from. Like being around people with money.
yeah,
They start saying words and you're like, wait, what? What's that? You could do what? Oh, I can
experiences.
buy that car by my LLC and then lease it to myself and then write it off. Like, huh? Like, what
Yeah,
do
it's
you mean?
experience. It's tricks to banking, like, and just different stuff and taxes and just different stuff all the way around. And like,
It's really not about what you make. It's just really about how you got a strategy to retain everything and how you're using your money, right? Some people make a lot of money and just make it sit, and there's other people that make a little bit of money, but they just know how to pass it around. And then,
well, I think in this country, the funny thing is that people look at the people who are spending 80% of their salaries to 90% of their salaries as successful people. But the thing is you're not future rich. You're in the now rich. Like, so for instance, if I happen to buy the latest threads, the latest clothes, the latest this, the latest that, that's now rich. Versus if I put everything I got into savings or keep and like live off of a certain budget of food and like stay in this and like recycle clothes and when they're due, like when stuff is done, like get into a pattern, get all my kids out of college, and then now I've got this nest egg, and now like the house is paid for, the cars are paid for. Like, you don't need a car every 5 years. What if you got a car every 10 years? What if you got a car every 15 years? What if you could push one? What if we kept the two? Which one's running better? We just maintain them. Like, maintaining a car is way cheaper than buying a new car for your credit
oh,
and for your debt.
100%.
Like, like
Just
people
go get
think
the oil changed, okay? Go get the oil
no,
changed.
people think that like putting a front end alignment, putting new tires, putting oil in a car, putting some money into the belt being switched, your thermostat getting checked on, putting new hoses on a car, tuning up a car, is more expensive than 12 months of a $600 payment. Like, it's not. Like, if you spent 4 months of a payment on maintaining your car versus what it's going to cost and the car lasts that long, you save some money. Just yeah, man.
Um, I'm processing all that. You know, like it's just seeing it every day like I do. It's just sad, like people just really just don't know money like at
So
all.
here's the first way to figure out. Like, honestly, this is my toughest one. This is my toughest one, but it's the first one to like kind of move into that financial way. Start eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner through the week from home. Pack a lunch, make breakfast, make dinner. Like, that's the first one. Like, start. Like, I don't like, for instance, right now I'm kind of on this raw thing in the morning, kind of towards lunch. Like, I don't even eat any meat until I get home, right? We're even right now we're trying to reduce our meat intake, so we're down to like maybe 3 meals of meat, or excuse me, 3 meals of non-meat
Mm,
per week, right?
good.
Which sounds crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, my stomach loves it because I'm looking better. But like, at the same time, like, it's so hard for me. I pass Bojangles, I pass McDonald's, Popeyes, all my favorite fast food places all the time. And I'm guilty. I'm not gonna front. Like I'm trying to get down to like 2 times a week. I'm right about like 3 to 4. I'm not gonna front. I
Oh,
eat I eat,
okay.
I eat
All
out
right.
quite a bit. I love it. Not gonna front. I'm addicted to fast food, but like, you know, reduce that, and then see what your finances are at the end of the week. Okay. Now after you reduce that, stop buying things you normally buy. Like so, fortunately for me, my wife, she made a budget and she showed me what I was spending. I was like, it's like, oh yeah, I could cut that down. I could cut this down. I could cut that down. And so I just stopped buying stuff. Like I never bought
Mm.
anything. This week I had to buy something, but everything I'm buying now is purely maintenance or like fixing a problem. Like if it's car maintenance, cool. If it's security maintenance, that's cool. If it's clothing for something that needs to be replaced, that's cool. Other than that, don't buy anything. Gas, bills, don't buy anything. Like rewear what you bought last year. I'm sorry. Like, try to, you got a whole brand new pair of Jordans in the closet. Wear them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's just shoes. Like no one's gonna pay you $300 for the old Jordans that nobody wants but you, and you've worn 3 other times that smell like your feet. Put them on and go to work. Don't get a new pair of shoes. Like just stick with what you got. Wear your clothes out. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you see a t-shirt with a hole in it, replace it. But like don't buy the one that's new. Buy the one from the rack. Like buy the one on sale, buy the one on clearance. Buy your winter clothes in the winter or in the summer, and buy your summer clothes in the winter. Like figure it out. And like slow walk it down and see how much you're actually spending on stuff, and get your money to be back your money, and like be surprised how much you can save. Like so I'd say at the beginning of the year I had probably about 2 G's in the account, right? I'm sitting on probably about 7 right now, just based off just saving money. Now it's not all mine. I do have to pay back credit cards, but even doing that, the credit cards, I'm getting a percentage back of my cash back on what I spend.
Yeah, you get the
So
receipts back.
like, and honestly, like that the credit card has actually helped me budget what I spend too.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. Like if you use credit cards for what they're supposed to be used for, and like don't like pay half, pay all. Use a credit card to pay all of it at the end of the month. You won't overspend. Cause like you'll be like, "Yo, this is crazy. I'm not spending." You spend $6,000, and then you think you got to come up with six thousand
For
dollars.
real. And that's what I did. I started using I got rid of use my debit cards for everything. I use straight
Straight
credit.
credit.
I got my food card, I got my gas card, and I got my whatever entertainment card, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
And that's how I do everything. And
yep,
as far as food, I intermediate fast every day, so I don't even do the breakfast thing.
yeah.
It's just one glass of water. I don't eat nothing until about 12 to 2 p.m. That's my first meal of the day. Is then
I gotta
it's
eat.
normally
I gotta eat
a
more than that.
watermelon or a melon or some kind of fruit. That's what I eat first, and then a little bit later, I'll eat my real meal. Like I ate that, and then I'm normally good for the rest of the day.
So I eat. I
So I
wake
eat
up.
twice.
I wake up at 5, so I gotta eat by like 7 ish. I got to, and then I go to the gym every day. So like I can't not eat, dog. I gotta eat. Like I get
But
so hungry.
do you know what it really is? Do you know why you're really hungry?
Go
Do you
ahead.
know what it really is?
Go ahead.
It's the worms in you, bro. The parasites. Have you ever dewormed?
Never dewormed.
Yo, do you know Americans are the only people on the planet that don't deworm at least twice a year?
I might have to see what you're talking about with the deworming.
Yo, I did a deworm. You gonna be like, no.
All right, I
It,
try it. I
it
try
looks
it.
like Alien vs Predator 2 coming out of you, bro. You gonna be like, what? You know, with the mouth, and then like another mouth, like stuff gonna be
Oh
coming out you never
man,
even thought came out of you.
that's
And there's
wild.
one for your teeth too. So you never deworm, guarantee you got little people all running around your mouth too.
Mm.
You got to do a dewormer. If there's
Okay.
anything you do, is that
All right, I'll fool with you. I see what we're doing.
make sure you 48 hours of nothingness. You ain't gonna be able to go nowhere.
Now I will say like so, I turned 40, so I went and got a colonoscopy. Now they did the Metamucil Gatorade.
Oh yeah.
You ever peed out your butt? That's wild, bro. That's wild. Like that's terrible, man. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's pulling all that out though, man. So
Yeah, that now
even
that was
sport.
surreal. Like I'm talking about, you go like every hour and a half, like half hour. Like it was terrible. It was the worst. Like
Yeah,
and
man.
yeah,
So yeah, that's what I recommend. That pumpkin seeds. You eat pumpkin seeds? You like pumpkin seeds?
on the salads, yeah, we have a few.
While you driving, man, pumpkin seeds.
I'm gonna have to figure out the seed thing. So like I'm not quite sure. I have to talk about that off air. I can't talk about that on the air anyway. Yeah, man. Yeah. So man, let's get into the Super Bowl. We haven't met up since the
Oh
Super
yeah, we
Bowl
didn't talk about
happened,
Super Bowl.
and we talked about everything else under the sun, but we haven't talked about the Super Bowl. So shout out
It's
to the
all Super
no.
Bowl.
You know what? I gotta make a real rant and a public service announcement before we even get started. Like first off, like, and I'm just gonna say it straight up. You sick fucks at the Kansas City parade who shot up all those fucking kids.
Oh shit,
Y'all
yeah.
are crazy as hell, and straight up fuck you from me and the rest of the world because you took a straight entertaining parade and you shot some kids. Apparently 11 kids got wounded, one person died, and 22 wounded, and most of them were kids. Like you I hope they throw the book at y'all. I hope y'all go to jail forever or prison forever, and I hope nothing happens, and I hope you get I hope
What
you even get
makes someone?
I'm sorry, I had to
Oh,
say it. I'm sorry. That was it's just disgusting to me. I heard the
yeah.
story, and the more it comes out, it's about the kids, and it's like so you just open fired on some kids, because the Kansas City Chiefs were parading down the street. Your team didn't win. Like I don't know what the motive. I don't even want to read the story. I just kind of know that part of it, and I just think you guys are sick. I don't care if you got mental health issues or whatever or not. That's sick. Like, bye. All right,
Mm,
that's what I had to say there first.
that's. I mean, it's real. I mean, it's crazy.
That's
It's
stupid.
crazy. You can't even
Stupid.
go parade your team now.
No, it's
It's
stupid. Like you guys are gonna take so many things away from us because you guys feel so emotionally insecure or hurt. Like you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like like I'm imagining two suspects are men. You're not manly. That's not nothing manly about that. You more you're not even female. Like no, it's not feminine or masculine. It's just straight bitch. Like straight up. That's it. It's cowardly. It's cowardly. It's scared little punk situation. Because little boys wouldn't do that, but scared little punk situation, and like that's all I got.
mm,
But on to something more positive. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations on the win. You know what I'm saying? We did pick them. We did pick them.
back to back, back to back. That's what I'm
Oh
talking about.
man. Yeah, we did pick them. So
You
like
can't bet against Pat, baby. Don't bet against him.
nah, I can't bet against Pat. No, Pat Mahomes did his thing, and honestly, um, people were talking about. I've heard a bunch of perspectives since then. The timeouts, the overtime rules, the overtime, getting the ball first versus getting the ball second, capitalizing on on the capitalizing on the fourth downs, not running the ball in the second half on the 49ers. I've heard a bunch of different things. What's your take on it?
I thought it was a good game. I'm gonna be honest, man. To me, the Super Bowl game, the best game to me is when is each conference's like like championship. That's
Okay,
the best game, and the Super Bowl is kind of like more of like an event and a party, to my opinion. I
gotcha.
think the last decade of Super Bowls have been like scripted.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, do you know he's been down by 10 points in every Super Bowl he's won?
I mean, dog, that ain't the most amazing thing we've seen. The
That's not the
Falcons,
most amazing
the
thing, but
Falcons had the Patriots down 28-3.
yeah. And guess who was in that game coaching? Kyle Shanahan.
I don't think that Kyle Shanahan is.
No, I don't think that at all. I don't even think it's them and the players and the coaches and all that. No, I think it's more of the reps. It's more that, and I just think I don't know. It's just
It seems a lot of holding not called from
it's like yeah, holding, not call. They pick and choose. Remember, I was telling you, I was like, they can pick and choose when they
Yeah,
want to throw that flag. It comes down to that third quarter, they make that play, and all of a sudden it's like holding, but they're
yeah,
holding every play. There's
yeah.
literally holding on every play. So I don't know. It was a good game. the best one in my opinion, still to this day, is still Patriots Eagles. I just thought that was a good watching
Yeah.
game. It was back and forth. It was a lot of lead changing. It came down to the very end. They went for it on fourth down a lot. It was the Philly special play. I'm not even Eagles fans, by the way. I'm not an Eagle fan, but I just thought it was a good watching Super Bowl. This one was like the first quarter, the first half was like, okay, kind of
First half
boring.
was definitely dry. First half
And
was
then they
definitely
picked
dry.
up. The second half was good. The what's his name?
McCaffrey.
Kelsey, right? Well, Kelsey, him grabbing the coach, that was a big thing. Like players reacted to that,
I
which
think
I do agree with. If it was like Antonio Brown, bro,
I think it was blown out of proportion to a degree. I think what happened was Kelsey got too close. I don't think he meant to push him. I think he did mean to get up in his face. I think he did mean to yell. I think he meant to say what he said. But I think as soon as he saw that what's the name was falling, he grabbed him. Like he did. I think, and then he realized he was like, "Oh snap! I just pushed my coach on national TV, and it's recorded." And I think it hit him. And I think and you can tell when it hit him because usually the coaches between Mahomes and Kelsey when they're at that Lombardi stage, right?
mm-hmm.
It was Kelsey, Mahomes, coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I personally don't think anything's going to come of it. It's a bad look for Travis Kelsey, but unfortunately, the star that he is, bad press, good press is still good press for him. So it's not
If they
going to.
would have
It's not.
lost, if they would have lost, it would have been terrible
Oh
press.
yeah, he'd probably been fired or traded.
You know what I mean?
Not
But
no,
they
I won't say. I
won.
won't go that far, but it'd have been a fine or something.
Yeah, he won. I still don't know how real the whole Travis Kelsey Taylor Swift thing is. Do
I
you
don't.
think that's real?
Yeah, I think it's real. Their kisses at the end kind of seem very passionate. Now, whether that's one sided or not, whatever. But
She's a celebrity, man. Celebrities are hell of actors, bro. They're hell of actors.
have you know Taylor Swift's kind of record? Like she has dated around. Like okay, so like for instance, if Lori Harvey has dated all of our famous actors and actors in the black side, Taylor Swift has dated all the white boys. Taylor Swift dated Loki. Taylor Swift is, and I'm gonna tell you who I think, like the ones I know, but I don't know their names. I just know Loki, right? Like the British guys. She went through her British Bond guys, like the British evil guys. I think she's got about three there. She's got about two on the American side for either actor or singer, and then now she's on to athletes with Travis Kelsey. So I think she's dated probably between eight celebrities on the magnitude of Travis Kelsey or higher, right? I would say more people probably know who Loki is in the world because
Okay, all right.
okay,
She's so all right. Here I got the list from 2008 to how many more items they got? All right, 2008 to 2023. Okay, so we got 2008 to October 2008, or July to October in 2008. Joe Jonas, so a Jonas
so the
brother.
Jonas brother, right? So that's one of the yeah. Okay, I knew that. I think I
Then
knew that.
March 2009 to April 2009, so 1 month. Lucas Till.
Which is who?
I have no idea who Lucas Till is,
I
but
think Lucas Till's like one of the British actors. He does something. I'd have to look at it. But dog, I'm telling you, it's about eight guys. So like where we talked about like Lori Harvey dating, um,
John Mayer, really?
yeah. So like exactly. Like so you start to see her little track record. She
Harry
dates.
Styles,
She dates famous people. Like she's a habitual
Calvin
famous people
Harris,
dater. So like this is not out of her code. But like
Maddie
Travis is her
Healy.
first athlete.
So she's been dating. Let me see. Who's the longest person? The
How many?
longest.
How
The
many are
longest.
there? That's what I want to know. How many?
There is wow. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Travis Kelsey is the 12th.
So like she does date stardom. Like she does date stars. Like I mean, and like I mean, let me back up a little bit. Let's get into it. Real
A
talk.
lot of her stuff though is like, if I'm being honest, it's like all right, it's like July to October, then like M-
It's
March to April,
it's summer
fall.
flingish.
Yeah, it's very flingish. The
Yeah, it's very
longest one
flingish.
is definitely Allen,
Okay.
Allen, whoever that is.
Yeah.
He That was, I guess, almost 5 years. So, and then immediately after that, she goes to Maddie Healy for a few months, and then immediately at like 1 month after that is Travis Kelsey to right now.
What I will
So
say is I think, and not to discredit or credit, because however you want to date, it's how you want to date. It's her choice. But Taylor dates publicly,
Yes, it's for
and
clout. It's to keep her relevant.
well, I won't speak on Taylor. We can't speak for Taylor, but what I will say is that for her, she dates publicly, and if you date publicly, that can look like it looks like it is now, right?
All right, that's true. Let me
And so
reframe
and
that.
so and so Travis came at her publicly, right? He tweeted at her publicly or Instagrammed at her publicly, and then she responded publicly back to him. So, and to a degree, they're on the same page of dating publicly. Travis has dated multiple his girls, his the girls before Taylor were all public dates. Like he took his black girlfriend when they won the Super Bowl first. She was on the podium with him when he's in that Louis Vuitton overcoat with the Oakley glasses. So like, it's not off brand for him to date publicly or her. So that part I'll exnate out. I definitely think they do like each other. I think they love each other, whatever. And I think they care about each other, regardless
Mm.
of what that's doing for the popular demand or whatever. Not. What I will say is people keep comparing Taylor Swift to Beyonce moving the needle in the NFL. There's a lot of big differences there. Beyonce is married with kids. Taylor Swift is not married and does not have kids. We can't keep comparing Beyonce to Taylor Swift moving the needle because we don't have a single black female in the spotlight like we have Taylor Swift's white single femaleness.
Mm.
Taylor Swift is a megastar that's single with no kids.
Is she like a
Beyonce is
billionaire?
married with kids. We can't compare what she moved the needle to. If when
Isn't
we
she,
look,
is she a billionaire, Taylor Swift?
yes, but look at when Kim Kardashian dated Reggie Bush. She was a single influencer. When you have single influencers, when they find a single, like for instance, like I
Billionaire.
saw Ice Spice up there. She's not nearly as big, but like that would be like
Ice
if
Spice.
that would be hear me out, hear me out. That would be like if Drake was starting to date a WNBA player, right? And I mean, like it would do marvels for that sport, right? But Drake is single. Like he does have kids, but it would do marvels. But he's a single athlete. Like we can't keep comparing married people or people in real relationships to Taylor Swift, who's starting a relationship with a football player. Like, of course they move the needle. They're both single and independent of children. Like it's not a comparison. I'm sorry. Like people keep saying, "Well, Beyonce would move the needle." Beyonce not single, bro. Stop saying that. Like it's not the same person. We have to put every layer of this piece of puzzle. Okay, megastar, singer, single, married, no kids, kids. Those are two major roles that why Taylor Swift makes NFL. Because okay, when you're single with no kids as a male or a female, you look achievable, right? So like for instance, if you saw Taylor Swift on the side of the road because she's single with no kids and you're single with no kids, you could technically go talk to her. Nobody could get mad. You don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a wife, you don't have children. She don't have a husband, she don't have children. She's obtainable. The ability of being obtainable makes Taylor Swift push that needle because everybody looking at her be like, I could get with her because she's single. That's in the back of the mind that nobody's putting towards the front of this argument about Taylor and Beyonce moving the needle. You can't move the needle if you're not single. Like if you're dating like that. Like that's one of the things I thought this was like just kind of ridiculous. People keep comparing the two, but they're comparing
So,
an apple to an orange. Is what I'm trying to say.
so yeah, yeah, it is. And
Um,
plus, like Beyonce's on a whole nother.
but how are you going to compare a married Beyonce to a single Taylor Swift? As far as like if Beyonce was with Travis Kelsey, Beyonce can't be with Travis Kelsey because Beyonce is not available.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical. It's one of those
And
what if.
in the words of Killer Cameron, the best availability is availability. No, the best ability is availability. And like, that's just the truth.
All right, but hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically speaking, both are single, no kids. Who would move the needle more? Travis Kelsey and Taylor
In
Swift,
my
or like,
opinion,
or just like a who's the most famous black NFL quarterback right now? Who would you?
gotta be Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Patrick Mahomes and Beyonce. Who would move the needle more? What we think would be more
Well,
popular in the NFL?
and see, there's another. That's kind of another. Like, I mean, I guess it'd be like a green apple to a red apple, right? Okay, now you're talking
Hey,
about a quarter,
Patrick. Patrick, no, nah,
a
not
quarter,
Patrick.
a
Who
quarter,
else?
a quarterback to a tight end. A tight end is not even the number two position of or number three position of offense. It goes quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. So now you're talking about the fourth position on the offense, right?
Yeah,
Like
but Travis a little different, man. Travis a little different,
Travis has more personality than Patrick Mahomes.
and Travis might be.
Travis Kelsey,
Definitely, yeah,
Travis
definitely,
Kelsey has
definitely,
more personality than Travis. It's
definitely.
he has a magnetic personality. Taylor Swift has a magnetic personality. This just happened to be a very harmonious matchup for the NFL to capitalize on. Yeah, show her. They showed her 18 times at the Super Bowl. Like they panned to the camera to her 18 times. I counted because I was there from start to beginning, and like I counted every time they went from him kissing her back to the podium to him kissing her back to the podium too. It was about 18 times. After that, I lost count. It might have been more, but the point is, what I'm trying to make is it just it's just happened to be that the universe aligned. That's what to me is what it looked like. Now, does it look away? Fine, but like it's working.
And no, no, I hope they get the most out of the relationship, but it's just interesting. I don't think we've had anything like that before.
I think we have. It's just it was before the social media era. It was before the hives or the barbs or the Swifties. Like now we
The
have cult
Swifties.
we have cult followings now, right? So we have cult followings where like that's powerful, right? So versus like we used to be customers, but now we have cult followings. Cult followings are a little bit different. Like you might a customer will go buy your album, will go buy a T-shirt, right? So now I've spent $20 on it. A cult following might have all your merch and has spent almost $20,000 over 10 years on you. That's a cult following. I don't have anything else. That's not true, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's a cult following, and that's the difference. It's the difference between a customer and a cult following, and like that's just where we're at now.
Okay.
What'd you think about your boy?
Ooh, Usher.
You know what? Before we get to Usher, how do you feel about Patrick Mahomes winning the MVP?
Who else should have won it?
The kicker.
Nah.
Nah, no. Harrison Butker should
He
have
wrote
won.
it down.
Harrison Butker should have won the MVP, dog. Nah, no, no. He broke the NFL record for the Super Bowl longest kick. He made every last one of his attempts. He got more points than everybody else on the team.
Yo, how did he even get in those positions? Who got him there?
He capitalized on every last time he was in the position.
I
You
understand that.
you
But
said
who capitalized
you
multiple times to get him there?
you said the game was born. The person who scored the most points in the game was Harrison
Was the
Butker.
kicker? And
It,
oftentimes is.
let me tell you something. This is the first time in the Super Bowl that I honestly think the kicker could have got the MVP and nobody would have been mad. Like this,
All right,
if you
then
really
Adam Vinatieri for all Tom Brady Super Bowls should have got the MVP because
maybe
all Tom Brady's MVP Super Bowls are won by like a field goal, pretty much.
maybe, but this time like it was just too close of a game. Patrick Mahomes didn't even throw for 2 touchdowns, did he? What did he have? One touchdown. The other one was ran in, right?
I believe so, but he had some major drives. He had a lot of running drives. Like in the second half, he turned up, man. He
Patrick
made some amazing
Mahomes
throws.
played. I'm not taking away that he didn't play, but the kicker played too. And not to mention he's two ways. Look at what his defensive attributes. He kicked the ball out every single time. There was almost I think it was almost negative yards from the punt return on the 49ers side because of his kicking ability. Dude, like he played two ways. He played special teams and he played offense. Not to mention he's 100% on offense and he kicked it out. I'm sorry. I think you can make an argument that the kicker could have got the MVP this year.
I don't think that's a good
I
argument.
don't care what nobody says, man. The kicker should have won that, dog. Man,
If you
matter of
go
fact,
around arguing the kicker should have won that,
yo,
should have
man,
got
kicker.
MVP the Super
Yo,
Bowl.
man.
That's crazy.
Let me put his pictures up, man. Listen, shout out to Harrison Butker. I got his picture up right now. Harrison Butker for MVP of the Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says. That was the most impressive player on Kansas City.
I'm
I
not gonna
watched the
post
whole game.
that.
I watched the whole game. He broke a record.
I-
He did offense and special teams. He's clearly not on defense, but he had a heck of a game. They would have
He had a
they,
great
they would
game.
not have won the game without him. Period. Period. 49ers would have beat Kansas City without kicking. If their kicker would have had the record that the other kicker had, it was over. It was over, bro. You got to think the 1 point that they blocked. Okay, if the other guy misses the extra point, we don't even have overtime. It's 18-19. I'm telling you, dude. And not to mention, he played two ways. I'd say now I don't know if all of them went out, but I'd say the majority of his kickoffs out of touchbacks, right?
When's the last time you was on a football field?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You know
Maybe,
they kick it from like the 35 now, right? Not the 25.
they also get it back 5 more yards from there. They don't go on the 20 anymore. They go to 25.
So I'm saying it's to kick it out of the end zone is a lot easier now.
So I looked at his stats. I
he's
looked
not.
at his
He's not.
stats.
He's going with it. All right. Go ahead.
You know what the record is for the Super Bowl? It's
What?
57 yards
Set
to
by
the
who?
by Harrison Butker. He got the record in the Super Bowl. You know what his longest kick for the season was? 60 yards. You know what the record is? 63 yards. You know what he was
By
warming
who?
up? You know what he's warming up with at the Super Bowl? 70 yards. This dude's a monster, dog. And he's playing two ways. Like,
What do you mean he's playing two ways? He's just kicking the ball off on
so a lot
special
of
teams.
people, okay, but see, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that football actually has three sets of teams: defense, offense, and special teams. Special teams is a separate team itself. Special teams does count. He's playing two ways. He's playing special teams. That's two ways, dog. So he's the kickoff, and he's the field goal kicker. That wasn't the case for the 49ers. They had two separate kickers. Just saying, dog.
Okay. All right. I'm
Two-way
sorry.
player, scored the most points, set the record, and he was perfect.
To me, the kicker can never be the MVP of the game.
The kicker can definitely be the MVP of the game, especially if I got the most points. And not to mention, he had one more point if they allowed him to kick the extra point for the
I
touchdown
just feel
score at
like
the end.
it takes the rest of the team to even get the kicker in place.
But, like, okay, so 49ers got their kicker in place, and the moment was too big, and he kicked it under and messed up. The the kicker on the 49ers kicked that messed up kick to where it bounced off their no, excuse me, Butker kicked that kick to the 49ers, and it bounced off the
The guy's
receiver,
leg.
and they caught it back and got the ball back. That's Butker shifted the momentum in this game, dog.
So, so
He
wait, wait,
did
wait.
more than just score.
Now this would count. Is he the punter as well?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's the
Okay.
punter.
All right.
Sorry, he's the punter and the field goal kicker. He's two
All right,
ways.
you know that.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that gives him a slight advantage to your point here.
So where
I would consider that.
a kicker does
He
play,
could impact the game a lot
he
as
impact,
the punter and the kick as the kicker. Yes.
technically he's responsible for the second turnover of the game. They had the fumble and they had the missed punt return.
Okay. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes had an interception, dog, and didn't throw but for one touchdown. Now, don't get me wrong, he had
But
300.
he had some huge
He had
runs.
he had 300 some yards. Like, I'm not taking away anything from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he
Played a heck
played
of a game.
amazing, man.
But that we got to start putting a little bit more emphasis on, like, okay,
That kicker gets a pass because he punts too. So punting and like normally it's a punter and then
and there's
like
a kicker.
a
That's
kicker.
that's what I'm trying to say. I guess there's a punter and there's a kicker.
So you
This
would have
guy's
led
doing-
with that. All right, I'd be like, okay, maybe.
Okay, how about this?
Maybe.
All right, now that I said that, outside of Patrick Mahomes, take Patrick Mahomes out of it. Who would you have gave the MVP to?
Hmm. I don't know. It'd have to be the kicker. You put it like that. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Because the eye test. Hold on.
This is the first year. I'm telling you, this is my argument. This is the first year that a punter should have got the MVP of the Super Bowl, dog. It just wasn't a high enough scoring game. He's on the winning team. He went perfect. He set a record. He got the most points. He's doing the the punting, and he's doing the kicking. Come on, bruh. Come on, man. They should have gave the MVP to the kicker, man. I knew Patrick Holmes would get it, but nah, dog. Nah.
He said, nah, dog. Hold on, let me see. I gotta look at the because I remember like it's like I watched the game, but the Chiefs didn't really have
They only scored two
out,
touchdowns.
yeah, outside of Mahomes, it wasn't like the 49ers and me had a lot more going on. It was just like McCaffrey, the
Okay.
ball is moving over there.
So
Let me
check this
see.
out. They only had two touchdowns. That's 12 points, right?
Uh,
Okay. So 12 points was scored by the offense. Okay.
well, Travis Kelsey had well, he didn't get a
He didn't
touchdown
get a
either.
touchdown. Mahomes didn't get a touchdown. Pachinko didn't get a touchdown. No, Pachinko got a touchdown. Um,
Let me
Number
see. All
12 got
right,
a touchdown.
so
He did,
Patrick Mahomes. All right, so wait. Patrick Mahomes had 333 yards,
right,
two
three.
touchdowns, and he threw what 75%
Okay.
or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then he was also the leading rusher for the
how many
Kansas
passing
City.
touchdowns does he have?
Two,
He has two passing touchdowns.
two passing
I thought he
touchdowns.
only had one, so two. Okay,
He
I'll
had
give it. Okay.
14. He had 14 points. He had one interception. He had 333 yards, right? Um,
He did,
passing the ball, and he had 66. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Bucker had 4 for
So
4.
he had 400 yards. He had 400 yards, bro, of offense. Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
by himself.
Yeah.
I'm
He
sorry, man. The
he
kicker's
won.
nowhere.
He willed that game. Like I mean, I guess if you go with the will, he willed that game. But I'm telling you, if they weren't for Butker, they wouldn't even been in the game, dog. Shout out to Butker, man. I know he ain't
And
gonna get his
then
shine, but shout out to him.
maybe on defense, you give it to.
Nobody. It was just a bunch of stops. Like it wasn't anybody particular that was just like balling out crazy. Don't get me wrong. Like it was a good game, but like no one caught an interception. They had one forced fumble and they had a bunch of turnover on fourth downs or third downs.
To me, there was only. You can make an argument for Patrick. Like Patrick Mahomes was that, but the kicker. Ugh. I
No, come.
mean, you put the way you put it. You can consider he's not even on the stat sheet, by the way.
Of course he's not on the stat sheet because he gets no
Oh yeah, here he
respect.
is, Buckner. So he made four field goals, one extra point. He missed one.
He didn't
Did he
miss
miss one?
anything. No,
They
he's
went
full.
for it on two. They went for it on two, right? They went for it on two one time. He
No,
only has one
no,
extra point.
no. I don't think so. He kicked the field goal every he because they only scored two touchdowns. So now he's got
I know,
okay.
but he only has one extra point. That's the weird
Right,
part.
because he only scored one touchdown right before the OT. He scored the rest of the points. He had 10 points.
That's right. The other
He
one was in overtime.
he
Okay,
had
okay.
10 points prior. That's what
Right,
I'm
you're
trying to
right.
say. Like it's you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes yeah. And then he punted five times, a total of 250 yards punting, and then two of them inside the 20 and a long of 60. So you can make it. You can make an argument. I'm not. But wait, no, wait. The punter and the kicker are different people.
No, Bucker
Yes,
kicked.
they are.
Look at Bucker. Bucker kicked the he was the punter. I promise you.
Are you sure? Because they have Tommy Townsend as five punts. There's no other person. He would have been listed
So
here.
how many times is Bucker listed for punting?
He's listed as four times for kicking four field goals.
So
Tommy Townsend,
what number is Bucker?
what number?
Yeah.
Hold on. Does it tell you? Number seven.
What number is Bucker?
You mean Townsend?
Townsend.
Number five.
Nah, man, I'm gonna have to rewatch it now. I'm gonna have to rewatch it, but nah, I was paying attention, but nah, Bucker kicked that
You had me
was
for a second.
punting.
I was like, wait a minute.
Nah, Bucker was punting, dog.
Every team has a kicker on putter. I'm like, did the Chiefs? They're the only team with just like with one guy, so they have an extra roster spot for somebody
I
else.
promise you, I saw Bucker come out. Unless all punters look alike, I saw Bucker come out and punt the
Well, the
ball.
numbers are similar, and they're all built the same. They're all like
I'm gonna rewatch
skinny
it,
dudes.
dog. I'm telling you, he kicked it. He kicked it. Either way, I'm still giving it to Bucker.
But no, your
Based off
whole
my
argument's
argument,
out the window.
no. Based off my argument, Bucker won it.
yo, it's done. It's done. It's done. See, you would have been looking crazy on national TV. You would have been up there with Stephen A. He would have ate you alive.
Nah, bruh. Nah, man. Nah. I'm going with Bucker. Bucker was the
You would
punter
have been
too.
with Cam and they would have ate you. What are you talking about? What's this dude
Nah.
talking about?
Nah. Bucker was the punter, man. That's what I'm going with. Yo, man. Let's get to this last
Oh,
thing, man. Let's talk about your boy Usher. Oh, oh.
oh, Usher was fired. So I called you up, mad hype when
Yeah, you was
I
hype,
called you up.
bro. You was hype.
Yo, that joint was hot. It was hot. I know a lot of people were like, it was whack. Da, da, da. Like, how could anyone say that halftime show was
First
whack?
off, wasn't whack.
It was
No,
not whack.
no.
You could
Nothing.
say it started off a little slow. He came out with his, but it turned into A Town. You know what I mean?
So I discovered that the budget for the halftime show does come out of the performer's check. So he had to add some things. He requested 15 minutes. He got it done in 13 minutes. And I think the 2 minutes was for to put on the skates. I think the outfit change for the skates was the 2 minutes. First off, two outfits were fly. That
Fly.
white, that white was fire.
Fire,
The blue and black fire.
fire. The
Um,
whole thing was fire, bro. The whole thing.
Song selection I thought was good. Do I want certain songs longer than the other? Absolutely, but like,
Yeah, he cut some out like pretty quick, at like a deep. That's true.
what
What
do you,
song did you want longer?
man? After the night,
Uh,
don't leave your girl
don't leave
around
your
me.
girl
Pro
around
play
me.
for real. That's my
That's
joint,
what I
man.
do.
That's my joint. That's my joint. That is my favorite Usher song of all time. I know this is probably not everybody's
But
favorite.
he performed that one pretty long, didn't he?
He did, but like he could let that rock. You could just let
Situation.
that one rock for me.
Will arrive. Yeah,
That's
that joint was fire.
that's my
Yo.
get back song. Listen, I break up with somebody. That's the first thing I play. First song I play. Every time I've ever broke up with somebody, that's the first song I play to get back.
Usher Super Bowl songs.
I thought all his features were great. I thought the weakest feature, and I know this is gonna sound bad, I thought the weakest feature was Will I Am.
Okay. Yeah.
You got Luda. Had to have Luda. You got
Little was fire.
Little John had to have Little John. Her being there was a surprise. I wasn't mad about that surprise. Love that. Alicia Keys, fire. Jermaine
You thought they
Dupri,
got a little too close?
I didn't care. It's performative for me. Like
Yeah.
either way, like if you're Usher's married and Alicia Keys is married, they probably know each other's fiancés. Like Swiss, Usher, Alicia Keys probably all know each other. Like who cares? Like he's going home with his wife. Alicia Keys is going home with Swiss Beats. Like, come on, bro. Like yes, it's supposed to be. It's my boo. You're supposed to look close. That's the My Boo song. Like, come on, that video was like that. Like, oh, come on.
So he did Caught Up. You Don't Have to Call. That's our joint.
Yeah, you don't got to call.
Superstar.
Yep.
He
Superstar
did
should have been longer.
a little bit longer. He had Love in the Club. He did that one for a little bit too long. I felt like.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, ain't got you
Okay.
with Alicia Keys. He did My Boo. Well, My Boo's a good song. He did Confessions. Confessions is his number one song.
It's also his number one album.
Yeah, Confessions is fire. It's the last Diamond R&B album ever made.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Makes
yep.
sense.
And
Yeah.
then Nice and Slow.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that song list. That's a fire Usher playlist, honestly.
And he's so talented, dude. Like in R&B space, you could have picked a completely different 8 songs, and still wouldn't
Oh.
have been disappointed.
Listen,
That's how like
if it
deep
wasn't
he is.
too freaky, he could have put on "That's What It's Made For." I'd have been right in there, boy. He could have done Confessions, period, and I'd have been
Yeah,
right in there.
he could have just did Confessions. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I could have done Confessions.
He
I'd have
didn't
been right
do,
in
he,
there.
he didn't do Burn, but I guess it would have been like a little bit too slow.
He did do Burn, but what it was, he wasn't there for it. He remember the stage caught on fire, like not on fire, but like it was a flare on the hologram right before he put on the roller skates. That was Let It Burn.
Oh.
Yeah, he did Bad Girl, but it was just her playing the guitar. And then after Bad Girl came on, Let It Burn came out, and then he came out in the roller skates. I believe that's how it went. Don't quote me on
And
that.
he did Oh My God too. So I guess these are the songs where he did more than just like
Oh My
10
God was with
seconds.
Will I Am.
Right.
And the only reason I say Will I Am was the weak feature is because Will I Am, I know he's older, but he didn't really add anything to the show. It's just kind of this dude in this weird helmet. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my, like
I
mean,
guess, but his role in the song is small too. It's not like
yeah, 100%. But and I think it was more for Atlanta, right? Because I guess Will I Am is
He's from
from
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay, I didn't know that, but
Luda from Atlanta. Well, Luda's actually from Chicago, but based out of Atlanta.
based out of
And
Atlanta. Well,
then,
I don't know.
huh?
I don't know where hers from. I don't know if hers from Atlanta.
Are we looking at her? Where's her from?
And Alicia Keys is from New York, so
But they had like a little thing, you know.
yeah, you got to play My Boo. I'm sorry, My Boo has to come there. Alicia Keys has. Yo, what about Alicia Keys' first note?
Oh, horrible.
I've been saying this for years, and like I know people.
She's not a good live singer. No.
Alicia Keys can't sing, not live. Like okay, and here's why. So, what I will compare this performance to, which is my favorite, was Beyonce at the Ravens versus the 49ers. Alicia Keys sang national anthem. Go back and listen to that national anthem.
It's weak.
Terrible.
Mm.
Terrible, man. Terrible. Listen, I love Alicia Keys. I love Alicia Keys' polish, though. Alicia Keys in videos. Alicia Keys has a playlist. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Alicia Keys, but this was not it for her.
Hers real name is
Yeah,
Gabrielle Wilson.
Gabrielle something. Yeah.
She's from California.
Yeah, so there you go. I thought, so
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
I mean, I guess he hit all coast, whatever, all the main. But
She's talented. I didn't know she can play the guitar like that. I didn't know.
you don't know about her, bro? But you got
I like honestly like I've heard her songs, but I never went to YouTube. Like I couldn't identify her if I didn't know. I like until you
oh,
told me
okay.
I didn't know who she was. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
bruh.
I'm getting old, bro.
Yo, I'm on her. I love her. Her Tiny Desk is fire. Her
No,
Tiny
her
Desk
music's good.
her
I just
tiny
don't.
her Tiny Desk with Daniel Caesar, fire. She fire.
Yeah.
She fire.
No, she's talented. I just never knew what she looked like. Like I never looked her up.
Beautiful.
You know?
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, so real talk. Let's get back to it. Let's rank it. I personally, okay, in my lifetime, my favorite one that I've seen physically, I would say Beyonce was probably my favorite. I'd say my second favorite was probably the Dre one. Dre, Snoop, M, 50, Kendrick. That's probably my second favorite one as far as sonically, right? I'd say Usher is probably in my third or fourth. And believe it or not, in my third or fourth, where he's close to is the Katy Perry one. I thought Katy Perry was very performative, and that's what I mean. Like as far as like a presentation, like for instance, I think she had Missy there. She walked this crazy looking glow in the dark lion. Like I'm not a big Katy Perry fan, but like I'm not gonna front. I was rocking it out, and I was like, okay, that was a little live show, and um, I say after that, the most one that comes to mind that like is memorable would be the weekend, and maybe that's like because it's newer in my head, but like it's those are probably my top five performances at the Super Bowl in my lifetime. Like I know everybody says, well, Prince, Michael Jackson, all that. I wasn't around or remembering that.
All right,
So
so we'll go from 2017 to 2024. Okay, we had Lady Gaga in 2017.
don't remember it.
Okay, Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids. That was a good one, actually. We're forgetting about Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake's one is up there.
He did it twice.
I like the one with Janet better.
Okay.
The one with Janet definitely. I take that back. So
Okay.
Janet and Justin would have to be number three.
All right, and then there's Maroon Five, Travis Scott, and Big Boy.
I remember the Travis Scott and Big Boy part, but no.
Okay, then it was Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, Bad Bunny, Jay Blavin, and Emmy Munoz.
That was a good one. I remember that one now.
That
Just
was a
said it.
good one.
Yeah.
Then there's The Weeknd. I honestly, I thought like J Lo and Shakira were better than The Weeknd's.
Yes, they were, but The Weeknd resonates me more songs. Like I don't
Okay,
know all Shakira's songs. I don't know all J Lo's songs, and that was before Bad Bunny was Bad Bunny for me.
okay, all right. And then there's Eminem and Dr. Dre.
Yes, that one was
And
fire for me.
that one was fire. And then
Yeah,
there's Rihanna. That's the weakest one on this entire group.
and I'm not mad at
That's one of
Rihanna.
the
It's
worst
just
Super Bowl halftime shows ever, in my opinion.
I won't say that because we actually had family that was in the halftime show. So Adia danced in the halftime show.
Well, Adia was an amazing lead role in her part, but the star of that one, I'm just saying it was a good
the,
show,
the
but
problem
compared to
with
this list,
Rihanna, the problem with Rihanna's halftime show is Rihanna was pregnant at halftime show. Not to her fault, or not that her voice was fine, but like her performance part of it. Like you wanted to see Riri in these videos. You want to see her dirty wine. You want to see her get down. You want to see her break it down, and she didn't do any of that. And
and
that's what the
Riri
problem
ain't
was.
like that. She not like that. She's the cute girl that really can't dance like that.
I believe it, but I think if she wasn't pregnant, she'd have done more. That's what I'm trying to say.
She would have did more, but in my, I still don't think she's better than Justin Timberlake, Maroon Five, Shakira,
No, no,
Weekend.
performance
She's not
wise,
better than
no,
any of these on this list.
no,
Like
no.
even with her like fully geared, because she's she's more of a studio artist that's kind of gotten away with, not having to be Beyonce on stage and not have Beyonce's voice. Like she's gotten away with like being kind of, I'm not gonna say mediocre, but she has really good songwriters. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? And it's allowed to, and the way they stage prop everything, it's allowed her to get away with maybe not being extraordinarily talented in the
right.
dancing department.
I'd say
Not to
based off the list you read, um, Usher's number one on that list.
Oh, there was Coldplay and Beyonce and Bruno Mars one year too.
I think
That was
that was the year
Katy
they.
Perry was good.
Yeah,
Lenny Kravitz and Missy
but see,
Elliott, that was fire.
that was you said from 2017. I think the Beyonce one was earlier.
Beyonce was 2016, yeah.
Yeah, so
And then
based
and
off
then
your 20,
Beyonce by herself was 2013.
yeah, based off your 17 up list, that's what I'm saying. But no, for me, based off the list you just
Madonna.
read, Usher, but like
Oh, Usher
overall,
did it before. He did one with the Black Eyed Peas. So he was just returning the favor. That's what it was. We caught it.
okay,
He
all right,
performed the Black Eyed Peas, probably one that same song, and then
right,
Usher brought him back. Like, yo, thanks for bringing me out.
yeah, that's fair then. That's fire. Yeah,
Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, probably the worst one ever.
that was the year
2009.
after. That was the year after Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, wasn't it?
No, that was it was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. It was Prince and the Florida AM. It was Prince. Let me see. Janet Jackson. That was 2004.
Yeah,
Janet Jackson, Kid Rock, P Diddy, Nelly, and Justin Timberlake.
that was a
2004.
fire show.
That was a good show.
Yeah, that was a fire show. But they dumbed it down after that a couple times. It was just like a band, and that was it. It was like,
Well,
oh,
yeah. After that, there was no
yeah,
black person
no black
until
person for a
Prince. So
long
it
time.
was it
Yep,
was Paul
yep.
McCartney. Then it was the Rolling Stones. Then it was Prince. So Prince kind of brought it back to like, all right, like finally someone like really talented.
Did
Then it
Prince
was
do?
Petty and the Heartbreakers. No one watched that. No one watched Springsteen,
No.
and no one like the Who. No one really did that. Then they found was like, we gotta bring back hip hop. So then Black Eyed Peas. Then it was like, all right, let's do Madonna. Madonna's
So
was weak. Then they brought out Beyonce,
yeah,
Bruno
Beyonce
Mars,
fire.
Katy Perry, Coldplay.
Yeah. So do you think that Lil Wayne gets it next year in New Orleans,
Ooh.
or is it already in stone? Taylor Swift doing the
Only if he
halftime show?
gets an address. Only if he gets an address.
No. So it's between Taylor Swift or Lil Wayne.
All right, let's think about this geographically. They did they when they did that Super Bowl, it was in LA when they did that one, West
Yes.
Coast.
Yes. That's how I knew the Rams were gonna win.
Okay, and then they did Atlanta this year in Vegas, but
Usher
Usher was the
was a
residence,
resident. Yeah. So
right?
that's the difference. Yeah. Usher was a resident.
Is Little Wayne or Taylor Swift?
It's got to be Cash Money, right? I mean, like Cash Money. It wouldn't be just Lil Wayne. It'd be Lil Wayne and Cash Money. Like
Little
it's.
Wayne would have to put out something to be relevant, I think.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Um,
I don't know if they're are they going. You really think they're gonna bring out Cash Money?
if they
Wayne,
listen, if Wayne goes,
he's got
do
enough
you
clean songs.
do you know who's coming? Do you know who's on
Drake,
the stage the whole time?
who?
That boy, Champagne Poppy, and then
He ain't.
the Barbie, the Barbie's coming. They coming,
No,
dog. Listen,
no,
if
no, no,
if
no, no,
Wayne
no. No.
comes, you got Tiger, you got Drake, you got Nicki Minaj, you got Wayne, you got Birdman, you got oh man,
I think Drake's
ah.
too. I almost feel like Drake is so big right now.
He do it for Wayne.
Okay,
He do it for Wayne.
Okay,
He do it for Wayne.
but he put it this way, it had to be probably Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj.
You got to bring Tiger.
Why you
Got to
gotta bring
bring
Tiger? What hits? What's
Tiger. Got some
what?
hits, dog. Listen, they gotta do taste.
You don't think between Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj they don't got to cover?
But you gotta bring a
Who's the
couple
third
other
verse,
Young Money.
bro?
They
Who's
gotta
the
bring
third?
they gotta bring a couple of other pieces out of Young Money.
I'll tell you who they bring. They probably bring Manny Fresh,
Mac Main, gotta bring Mac
Mac
Main.
Main.
Gotta,
They'd have to represent, but there's beef down there too, right? There's Master P.
but see, you could bring the Hot Boys. Like they could bring BG, they could bring Juvenile, they
How you
could
gonna fit all
bring
that in?
Dirk.
How you gonna fit all that in 15 minutes?
Listen, all you gotta do is end it with back that thing up. All you gotta do is end it with back that thing up. Let me tell you something. That whole crowd going crazy. You end it with back that thing up. It's not gonna end with a Wayne song. It's gotta end with Juvenile. Back that thing up. And all the Hot Boys on stage and all Young Money on stage.
That's tricky. It's a
Dude,
50-50 on that.
it's like
50-50.
8 people coming out on that thing.
I don't know if Drake comes out for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I would. If it's a good look if Drake comes. It's a good look.
I think Drake's big enough to have a headline.
Drake is big enough to have a headline, but have the Super Bowl in Canada and then let Drake headline that.
Where would he
Drake
have it?
doesn't need anybody to headline with him, but Lil Wayne at this point would need somebody to headline with him. Because, like you said, relevant records. Not to mention the demographics. So, like, for instance, I would say typical white America probably doesn't know all of Lil Wayne's verses, but knows a lot of them. But then, and honestly, like, Lil Wayne's demographic is 40 now, right? So, like, his people are probably 40. So, a lot of people who are going to go to the Super Bowl know who Lil Wayne is. But their kids, kids, they know Drake. They know Nicki. Like, it would be a vibe if all three of them came. It would have to be similar
Eh,
to like Dr. Dre's.
Yes, yes. It would have to be, but that's what I'm saying. Are they really gonna? I don't know. I don't know. The NFL's tricky, man.
Listen, back that thing up,
Maybe,
close it out. Listen, the last
maybe
2 minutes, you have Juvenile come out, do one verse, and Lil Wayne drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, and that's the end of it. That's the end.
because Wayne's a hell of a performer, so it'd be a shame if he didn't get a chance to do the Super Bowl. But
First off, he would jump out on a skateboard on a half pike. He'd be rapping, going sideways up and down a half pike. Then he'd pop off like an alien. You'd see Nicki come out of the stage looking like Barbie. You'd have Drake coming out looking like Drake. Then,
it's possible.
they would do the 10 minutes. The last 5 minutes would be his little old school stuff, and then bring Juvenile and the boys up. That would be the end of it. That's how I would do it. The features with Nicki and and Drake, do a couple of them. Do he could do it. Another thing too is honestly, realistically, Wayne has enough hits to do it by himself. But I think
Isn't David Banner from down there too, or no?
David Banner's from Mississippi, so he's
Okay.
close. He's close by. But that's the thing. Lil Wayne technically has hits with all these people. The problem is, are they TV hits? Now, Lil Wayne has a lot of.
Where's Killer Mike from?
Kill Mike's Atlanta. Kill Mike's Atlanta.
Damn,
Yeah,
he should.
you don't know South rap, so like I get it. It's okay. It's okay.
It's just that all y'all sound the same, so it's just like.
What'd you say? What did you say?
Us Yankees,
What
it's
did
hard
what
to
did you
tell the difference
what did you
between
say? You
someone
said that
from
all South rappers sound the same, sir.
it's just some of y'all.
Um,
Actually, now
Flag
I
on the play.
appreciate the Southern rap.
15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Who's your favorite rapper from down south? Who's
Oh
your
man, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Another day of the time.
Nah,
Another day
nah,
of the
nah.
time.
Real talk.
No, down south rap is good. It's
I'm
actually
gonna tell you
better
something.
than up here now.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. And all of them miss him. They missing Young Thug right now. All of them. All of them. They need Thug to get out this court case, dog. They biting every. It's like about 3 Drake songs. It's probably about like 4 Gunner songs. It's probably about like 4. Oh my goodness, like that 21 Savage. That
21 Savage album is fire. It was good.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, he needed
Big Cudi,
he had some
Benny the Butcher.
yo man, listen, they missing Young Thug down here, okay? They missing Young Thug. I'm missing Young Thug. I miss that. And nobody in the world sounds like Young Thug. So to say all South rappers sound the same, dog, nobody in the South sounds like Young Thug. Nobody sounds like Jeezy. Nobody sounds like Gucci. No one sounds like Future. No one
No
sounds
one
like
sounds like
Wayne.
Future or Gucci. No one sounds like Wayne.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, Gunner's coming to his flow. But like, if you were to tell me Gunner, the Baby, and Lil Baby have the same cadence, I'd agree with you. But like, for instance, no one sounds like J. Cole. Contrary to what you guys believe, J. Cole's from North Carolina. He's a South rapper.
Absolutely.
So you know, we all sound the same. Get out of here.
But J. Cole
Raps
was
like
up
he's
here
from up north.
because he was up here at NYU. I let Nas down. Say it again, J. Cole. I let Nas down.
Listen, man, we've been
He's
on.
actually right. So J. Cole is kind of like in that Andre 3000 bubble. You know what I mean? He's over there
No, no, no,
as
no,
far as consciousness and like rapping
no,
and like hip
no.
hop.
No.
Yes, he's
I
over there.
I think J. Cole is not to be compared. I don't think Kendrick's to be compared. I think they have carved their own way. Like if you
No,
were,
what I'm
I
saying
think
is out of the Atlanta rappers, right? You
no.
got like, you got no, you got like Rich Boy and throw some D's on the Cadillac dudes, and then you got J. Cole and you got conscious rappers. Like you got the conscious ones.
Okay, if you want to call
Yes?
him a conscious rapper, fine. But to compare him to Andre Three Stacks, there's no comparison, dog.
No, not their style of rapping, no.
No,
But
no, no.
what
I'm just saying, like, they're even their consciousness. It's a different conscience. Like that's what I'm saying. Like J. Cole has his own lane. I personally would put J. Cole in J. Cole. Like, there's never gonna be another J. Cole. There's never gonna
there
be
was J.
another
Cole
Andre.
before J. Cole. That's not true.
Say that again.
There's Common. There's
No,
got
no, no,
the
no. God,
content, dude.
no,
His style. No, no, no. You're
no,
getting no. You're
no,
getting it wrong. The
no.
content of what they're rapping about, right? What they're rapping about versus their styles and their wordplay are two different things. Me and you could be rapping about the same thing, but just going about it different. And it's the same. We're talking about the same thing. It's just like, oh, I like D Styles better than Justin's, right? That's all I'm saying. They talk about the same stuff for the most part. They're conscious rappers. They're on that. They're not really talking about effing hoes and all
Okay,
this. They're talking about other things.
okay. So, would you say that Pop Smoke and 50 Cents are the same?
No,
Why?
because 50's. All right. Pause. Let me rewind. In a way, yes. In a way,
Okay, when
yes.
Pop Smoke died, they got 50 to finish Pop Smoke's album because of the sound, right? Because
Because of their
because
voices,
because
yes.
because 50 could emulate Pop Smoke, right? Pop Smoke emulated 50's sound, right?
Correct.
I don't think Pop Smoke raps about anything 50 was rapping about.
Well, he's talking about yeah.
First
So
off,
you're talking about the
he
sounds, right?
doesn't
So
he
you're talking
doesn't
about the opposite of what I'm saying.
no
The
no
opposite of what
he
I'm
doesn't
saying.
rap as good as 50 first off. But
No.
like what I'm saying is, okay, so if you were to take J. Cole and Andre Three Stacks, you're to say they rap um they're conscious rappers, right? And they can rap similar things and like it sounds conscientious, right? I'd agree. J. Cole's a conscientious rapper. But J. Cole didn't copy Andre's 3000
No, that's not what
style.
I'm saying. I'm not
Okay.
saying he's copying Andre 3000 at all. No. Mm. J. Cole's his own rapper in his own right.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Right.
he's his own lane.
They're,
That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know how you're
no, no.
phrasing it, but I don't think he's
He's in
on.
the same lane. You know what I mean? He's in over there with like, JID. You know what I mean? They're all in that same
So
type
you're
of.
saying they're conscious rappers.
Yeah, but to say J. Cole's flow alone, like he's in his own bubble, like, dude, there's been people that sound like J. Cole before. There have. You don't think so?
Not me. Not me. Not my ear. My ear is that J. Cole is his own rapper.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm saying, I'm
But
saying, I'm saying, like,
but
okay,
see,
okay, like, and I'm not just talking about success. I'm talking about like album. I'm talking about like progression. I'm talking about like J. Cole. This is what I say about J. Cole. J. Cole is one of those person that has rapped from 2000, let's just say 2010 to 2020, and got better each year. From 2020 to 2024, he got better each year. Like he's better. He has progressed every time he's graced the mic.
I think it was like mixtapes than his like actual album career in the beginning, like his first two, three projects kind of did like and then he didn't to me go to the next level until it was with that Forest, what was it called?
Forest
Forest,
Wood Drive.
that's when he kind of hit
That's what
his
I'm
stride.
saying. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like
That's his third album.
I think he was trying to like mimic until that, and then just after
I
that, it
think
was like okay, I got it, and that was it.
Well, no, I think what it took for him was like, all right, yeah, you're right. It was like I'm trying to mimic, I'm trying to make pop songs, right? He was part of the blueprint at the time. It was
Right.
360 deal. You got to do 16 songs, this many features, all that crap. And he was trying to follow the blueprint.
They tried to cookie cutter J. Cole after he got out of the mold. It was over. Like
It was over.
he was the whole dough. That's what I'm
Correct.
trying to say. Like, and I
Correct.
guess
Yeah,
like,
I agree with you.
and I think like if you compare Andre to that, Andre was the whole dough in another recipe. Like I'm saying, like he's his own cake. Like I think J. Cole's J. Cole. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. Yeah, J.
Yeah.
Cole, like his style, no one else like sounds like him directly. No.
And I just think he's gotten so much better. Like
Oh yeah, he's every time he touches the mic, it's like, man, what the hell is he gonna say next? Like,
you don't know.
it's like, and for other rappers, like, do I really want a J. Cole feature? I
You
might end
you
my
do.
career.
You do want a J. Cole feature. The problem is that you want to know that J. Cole's coming to kill. And like,
Yeah, so you have to be very like even Drake. Like, I thought it was very ballsy for him, not to take away from Drake's.
first person shooter.
Yeah, man, that's that. You ain't listening to that song to hear Drake. You're listening to hear that song to hear J. Cole. It's J. Cole's
That's
version.
not Drake's song. That's J. Cole's song. And I'm just saying, like, it's on Drake's album, but that's a J. Cole song, dog. Um,
But
I,
then again,
I,
is Drake is I feel like Drake is more versatile.
I'll tell you the song that J. Cole bodied, but it doesn't matter because of the messaging. And see, that's what you got to realize about J. Cole. It's a lot. J. Cole's verse in a lot is better than both 21 Savage's album. But because 21 Savage is relating to the topic of losing all those people and like what he's rapping about is about his personal experiences, he didn't have to body either one of those verses because he's talking about his personal experience of loss and of life and different stuff. So like when you out he didn't necessarily out rap J. Cole or anything like that, but his story was better. Like the verse only elevated the song because the two stories prior to the verse. It's just I think a lot is probably like one of my favorite J. Cole features. That's probably because of the other rapping is so poetic and symbolic of the song that even J. Cole's verse doesn't hurt it or like if you took J. Cole off of that song, 21 still got a hit, I think. But
Oh yeah,
but
and that's because 21's got his own sound. Like it, and that's what it comes down to.
yeah.
You're hitting a great point here. It comes down to your sound, right? So like for Kendrick Lamar to try to mimic Drake, it's gonna come off like
Yeah.
what the hell is
Mm-mm.
this, right?
Mm-mm.
Exactly. So J. Cole doing what he finally is meant to do, which is like
Kill.
kill all kinds of
Kill.
different flows, and he's doing all kinds of stuff. And there's another dude out there that's really dope. Uh, damn, Joiner
Joyner Lucas. Joyner can spit. No doubt. Joyner can spit.
and Logic's another one too.
No. Don't no.
Come on, no.
We don't talk about logic on this channel anymore.
What should be for Logic?
Did you hear what Logic said to his dad?
No, what do you say he was
Go
dead?
watch that interview, and then we'll go. Then tell me if you still like Logic after that, and then go
Okay,
listen to the interview where Logic talks about his mom. I'll send you both
okay.
of them when I find them. But listen, man, it's
Yeah, right, right.
it's
I don't be
not
getting all personal.
dog. Like, and I mean, I guess that's honestly
So
that's
you lost respect for him as a human.
from the samples that I've gotten from Logic as a person outside of the craft. Craft wise, no problem with Logic. Outside of the craft, who you are as an individual, as a person, Logic needs to identify who Logic is. Logic doesn't know if he's a white man or a black man. Logic doesn't know if he's biracial or not biracial. Logic doesn't know when to say the N word. Logic doesn't know whether not to say the N word. Logic doesn't know how to talk to his parents. Logic doesn't know how to understand that the people who brought him into the world are the most important people in his life and
So,
doesn't need to be spoken about on a public platform like that.
so wait. All right, so that's a good point. So as a parent, right? It's like, and I heard this before. It was like on a Instagram, and the guy was like, "You see the way your kids talk to you, right?"
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Where do you think that? And you know, where do you think he learned that? Where do you think these kids learned that from? It's from the parents. So maybe Logic's parents weren't. Maybe they ain't shit.
They not, according to him. But here's my thing: you don't go on the internet on a live view with your popularity and tell the story of your mom, who happens to be Caucasian, of calling people the N word and getting knocked out. You don't talk about your dad asking you for some money and holding it up against him and call him a nigger online because that's what you think. Like, just check your boy's clips. Check your boy's
Mm-hmm.
clips. He's wild. He's wild. He's a loose cannon and he's not right. He's not right. No one thinks he's right. White people or black people don't think he's right.
Mm.
He's
I
good.
didn't know that about him.
Watch him.
I knew
I don't have any
to
respect
he.
for Logic.
Okay, all right, fair. I don't honestly. I don't really follow his career like that.
Listen,
I
dog.
just know I
Listen,
heard a few songs with them together, and that's about it.
I think he needs to discover who Logic is and stick to crafting instead of sticking to talking. Like if you can't talk, like if you can't do anything but shame or bring the family around you down, just rap. If he'd have
Mm.
put what he said in a rap, it'd have been better off. But he put it in verbiage and laughed and kikied about it. But
Mm.
man, it is an hour and 40 minutes. It's the longest pod we ever done, bro.
We had a good one. We even get to talk about Kanye.
We
I
need
guess
to
we have
talk
to
about
wait.
Kanye, man. We can get to the West.
But yeah, it was a good one, man.
Yeah, good
It's a
one.
good one. It's a good
Listen,
one.
I'm
Good
signing
topic.
off. Thank you again for watching Thinking Out Loud podcast. I'm your host Dustin Cowan, my cousin Justin, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.